I'm going to hand over to my colleague Pedro, who's going to be my system administrator.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much. Your new Primero instance is online, as you can see. So our dashboards are empty. We have no cases, but we are going to the cases view, and I will pull up a new case to show you what the baseline forms are. So this is the basic structure we have, and inside of each group we will have several forms. And I've seen, based on the configuration mapping that you have provided, that you'd like to make some adjustments to these baseline forms, having in light that you are making a deployment for the Ministry of Public Health in Thailand. So I will ask you to guide me through the changes you want to make, and I will apply them as we speak. Is that okay?
That's great. So the first thing I'd like to do is modify some of these forms. And I was wondering if you can add a specific form into this configuration. And I want it, because we're working with the Ministry of Public Health, I want it to be about the hospital administration data. So if you're able to first create a new form called hospital administration data, that would be great.
Okay, let's do it. So hospital admin data. There we go. And we will have this inside of which group? Do you have an idea?
Let's put it inside the identification and registration.
Okay, cool. And I'm saving, so our form is created. Now the next step is adding fields to this form. So I'll move to the fields section and I will add fields.
Cool.
And we will be adding new fields to start with. So we have several options, as you can see. So can you tell me exactly what fields would you like to add?
Yeah, I want to be able to have a drop down where I can pick several options of the service departments.
Okay, so you want to choose several at the same time, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a multi-select for us. And this is the service department, correct?
Yes.
And which options would you like to add then?
So I put in the emergency room, and in the intensive care unit, and obstetrics and gynecology.
Okay. So there we go. We have a new field.
Great. I'd like another field where I want to be able to enter in doctor data about their visit comments.
Okay, so for that we would use an open text area where the doctor could write whatever they want. We'll call this doctor's comments.
Great.
There you go.
And then lastly, I want to be able to know the time and the date of when this visit actually happened.
Okay, so for that we'll use a date time field. And we will call it date of visit. And here we can choose for the system to default to the current date and time and to not be in the future. It's always helpful. And there we go. We have our fields created.
Awesome, thanks. But I want to make the visit of the date and time field the first field and not the last one. Can we reorder them?
Certainly. That's very easy. We just drag and drop.
That's great. I also think that we need to hide some forms, and I was wondering if we can adjust the form structure. We're never going to actually be doing tracing in our programming, and I was wondering if you can hide those forms.
Certainly, yes. So we can open the tracing form, and we can just play with the visibility of it. So we can say that we don't want this to be visible. So the baseline forms will still be available in our system. We can always turn this on later, but for now it will not be visible.
Great. The next one is, I want to be able to see a field and have it be repeated on multiple forms. So the one I'm thinking about is our protection concerns field, and I want it to be added to the assessment form as well. And maybe we can do it to the care assessment, or yes, the assessment.
Okay. So for that, we have this cool new functionality where we can add existing fields. And we can choose from the fields we have already in the system, either the baseline ones or the new ones that we have created. So we just need to look for the field we have. Protection concerns, here it is. And we just add it. Yeah.
Great. So the forms are now looking good. And I know that Primero is very configurable in regards to its role-based permissioning. I don't want my caseworkers to be able to export data out of the system. Are you able to update that?
Yes, of course. For that, we can go to the roles page and we can edit our caseworker role. And you will see we have the ability to choose basically all the permissions that we have in the system. We can give them or revoke them at any point in time. So in this case, for the caseworker to see cases, we don't want them to be able to export anything. So as you can see, the export is not selected. So at this moment, they are not able to export.
Great. I want them to be able to see that new form that we just created, though. How do I add that to their permission?
It's a very good point. So we have also here all the forms that this specific role should be able to see. And so that's another way of playing with the visibility and access levels. So we will just make this new form available. Let me just reload the page. Takes a little while. It's a long list, but everything you need is here. And there you go. We have our new form, and I will just make it visible for the caseworker as well.
Awesome. So I guess one of the last few things I want you to do is, because we're working with the Ministry of Public Health, I want them to be added into the system, and I want their logo to appear on the system. Can you do that?
Sure. So we'll create a specific agency for the Ministry of Public Health. And I will call this MPH. And we can add the logo for the agency. So I had it here already. And here we have the possibility of making the logo visible or not. So I will say we want it visible. And also, we can choose which services this agency is going to provide. And this is very important for the future referrals we want to do. So let's say they can do basic psychosocial care. So now let me switch to the caseworker view and show you how this is looking like.
Great.
So this is our caseworker dashboard. It's slightly different. create a new case so that you can see the forms. And there it is. We just created the hospital admin data. Date of visit comes first, service department, you can choose, and doctor's comments. Yeah?
Yes, great. I guess one last thing. I did want the system to be available in both Thai and English. Can you tell me how it works to have them in our local languages?
Sure. So let me switch back first to the configuration mode just to show you how easy it is for anyone in your team to come back here and translate specific fields. So I'm opening the consent form, and you see we have a section for translations inside of each form. So we can translate field by field directly in the system. And the way it looks, if I switch to the final version, well, one second. So we are fast forwarding, and this would be your final version. To log in. And you see here on the bottom left corner, we have this toggle, so I can switch between languages. And so if I choose Thai, everything will revert to Thai. Yeah. The
Awesome.
filters, the cases, everything.
Thanks. I think the last thing is, because I work for UNICEF, I need to do mandatory reporting. And I was wondering if I could have a specific report built to tell me the number of cases by age and sex.
Yes, certainly. Age and sex is actually one of the baseline reports we have already in the system. So if you navigate to your reports tab, you will see we have already the cases by age and sex. And this is how it looks like. And you can also export this table or graph to make further analysis if you need.
Great, thanks, Pedro.
You are welcome. So by this time, the system is ready for user acceptance test. So users may propose changes and we can adjust the configuration accordingly. And once everyone is happy, the system is ready to go live and the social workers may start entering real case data. And this is when we move into support mode and help you maintain your system in accordance with your sustainability plan, which is what Robert will explain next. Thank you so much.